Welcome to Wolves Weekly. I'm Barrett Henderson, the Director of Media Relations here at Western Oregon University. Joined this week by Mike Johnson, Head Coach of Wolves Cross Country and Track and Field. Just, to name a few things that you do here, Mike.
Well, just to name a few things that I do? I can't name a few, there's too many. But we have a pretty active and a pretty full program.
Yeah. Well, Mike, big week last week for Western Oregon University Cross Country, especially the women's program. You had Annie Wade competing at the national championships, and just talk a little bit about how she did.
Oh, Annie did a fine job. It's particularly difficult when you go to a national meet, and if you go with your team, it's pretty ordinary. You go as an individual, and you have to warm up alone, do other things alone, get on the line alone, and Annie really acquitted herself well. You can see in many of the pictures that have been run, there was an incredibly competitive meet. Went out very fast. I think it's certainly from where she was in high school just 3 years ago, running about 2 minutes, well, 2 minutes slower just for 3K, to where she is today has been a great growth period for her.
Yeah, the impressive thing too about Annie that down the stretch here, she's really been battling some illness, but she just continues to perform well each week.
Yeah, I think she's been able to demonstrate uncommon maturity. She just takes, and one of the things that we preach is to race the course. And when you race the course, that's the first thing you have to beat before you beat the other people in cross country, because it's right there. And she's really bought into that. And then she keeps herself in races and keeps working throughout the race. Great focus and concentration, and gets a pretty good result.
Annie, not only the only action that Western Oregon Cross Country had last weekend, but just talk a little bit about here on campus, a little bit of a madhouse the past couple of weeks there at the cross country course.
Well, we out at the Ash Creek Preserve, we have our cross country course out here, and we've kind of hewn out of the wilderness, so to speak, actually grass seed fields. I don't think that's much of a wilderness. But we've had, last weekend we had the USATF regional meet, states here in the Northwest, athletes in various age groups. We had about 720 or 30 athletes, their parents, their coaches here on campus. The week before that, we had the USATF state meet, and of course we sponsored a high school meet back in September, and so we've had about 2,000 prospective Western Oregon students here on campus that have come to enjoy Monmouth and run on our cross-country course.
Now, did you get a chance to look at anybody, impressive runners out there?
Well, that'd be real good, but I was in Spokane.
Yeah.
We've seen most of them before.
Okay.
We've seen most of them before. Some of our staff was here helping administer the meet. We've worked cooperatively with the running community, and they bring in a great set of officials, and the meet went really very well.
Now, transitioning from cross country, you'll have indoor track coming right up here in January, I believe, the first meet?
We're going to go January. We could start in December, and that's how quick the transition is from cross to track. And when you make that transition, well, for us, it's always interrupted by, well, we got Thanksgiving break. Yeah. You've alluded to that. Yeah. We have a Christmas break coming up, and then we come to January 18th, and our first race will be races field event competition at the University of Washington in the Dempsey Center on the 18th.
Now myself, I'm actually running in a turkey trot 5K just so I can feel better about all that food I'm going to eat on Thanksgiving.
Was that where they only let turkeys enter? Or?
Basically,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Well, yourself, do you do a little bit of the same thing?
No, I don't race anymore. Because my brain keeps trying to write checks my body can't cash.
Well, I'm not racing. I'm
a participant.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not worried about my time.
Well, there's some sanity in that.
Yeah,
definitely. And that's great. And we've actually, many people in our family, and we have encouraged some of our athletes to go and have a good time in a casual race or two, as long as they keep in perspective.
Do you eat plenty of turkey on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, if you mean by plenty too much turkey on Thanksgiving, yes.
Well, Mike, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate you joining us today.
Oh, thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody that's out there.
That'll do it for this week's Wolves Weekly.